Hi, everybody. This is Alec Ransom of the P3 podcast. We're going to be doing a show here in just a few moments. But before we get into it, I just want to let everybody know, all the people that happen to listen to the show or follow us on Facebook. We've had a bit of a tragedy in the P3 family this week, and we'll get through it. We're a strong knit group. Tonight we'll be rolling in as a trio instead of a foursome. We'll fight through it. We'll bounce back. We'll keep trying to entertain you guys as best we can. Even through the tough times that we might be going through. But we value you guys as fans, and any words of encouragement on the YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, would be greatly appreciated, and we'll make sure it gets passed on to the appropriate party. But just before we start the episode, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update as of what's going on. So stay tuned. We appreciate the support, and here comes the show.
You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the P3 podcast. My name is Alec Ransom, and we will be rolling in as a trio tonight instead of a foursome. Beef the Legend is out, not out on an injury, but just out on holiday preparations. So he's all good. No need to worry there. We do have some disappointing news and some strife to get through, but I'm confident that we as a P3 team will be able to pull through. We're confident that you as our fans will be able to give us the encouragement we need to continue forward in these troubling times. And just to kick the show right off the bat, I just want to let you guys know that we have lost our beloved champion. He's with us. He's not dead, but he no longer holds the Chooserweight championship. I take this as a big blow emotionally, personally, professionally. I'm not happy about the way things have transpired. And if I could go back in time and do things differently, I most certainly would do things differently. So with that said, I do want to introduce the other two members of the P3 podcast that will be trying to help me through this difficult time here this evening as the advocate. First off, I would like to introduce to you my co-champion. We are tag team champions, Mr. Tiger Bomb Tom.
Yes, it finally happened, and I'll be honest. It's a tricky situation. I'm tag team champions with the advocate for the now former champion, but I will say it's almost fitting because you're kind of the keystone that brought me into this podcast. So I guess it's only fitting that I'm co-champions with you on my first run. So I'm going to make the most. We're going to make the most of it, and then we're going to stab each other in the back on the next set of picks and see what the hell happens.
I appreciate the words of encouragement and the faith that you put in me. I appreciate that. As your fellow tag team champion. However, it burdens me and it weighs on me deeply to have to introduce to everybody else as the advocate the longest reigning, the longest defending, the longest soon to be auditing former Chooserweight champion of the P3 podcast, Poot The Bard. Oh my gosh.
Baby, whatever.
Oh no.
He's sullen and downtrodden.
I feel like I've betrayed my client as the advocate.
No, the only thing that's giving me solace in these hold on one second. In these dark times is the fact that my advocate, the best advocate that any former reigning, defending, undisputed Chooserweight champion, Poot the Bard, could ask for. Mr. Alec Ransom is co-champion, and it's a shame that he has to be co-champion with such a fiendish, terrible scoundrel of a man named Tiger Bomb Tom. I can't keep this up. Hey, Tom. Guys.
Damn.
I'm dying.
Hey, just remember, I'm the monster you created. You brought me in, and now I'm taking it. I took it.
No, I will say, I think it's very appropriate that I joked about it and said that someone in Bardic Industries would still be holding that belt, and by God, they certainly are. But no, in all, like, goofy joking aside, congratulations to our new, if I may, fellas, ready?
Yep.
Congratulations to our new, reigning, defending, undisputed, Chooserweight champions, Tiger Bomb Tom and Alec the Madman Ransom.
It's a good thing that Beef isn't here, because I'm sure he would try to dispute this in some form or fashion. Whether he has a leg to stand on is beside the point. But I'm sure
if he
would try
stood
to
on that
dispute
leg, he'd break it going downstairs and say, "Give me 5 feet."
Or that leg would have been taken off because of the diabetes.
Oh, you went, man! I thought I was taking a low blow. You really hit home. Beef, we love you, and that's why we joke.
Yep.
But
we joke because we care.
It is in fact true. I lost the Chooserweight champion. I hung my hat on the Miz, and we will get to it down the road here when we talk about. I'm sure we're going to talk about TLC a little bit, fellas.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But my thought process was good. It's just the order of operations was not. So
did we? Was this championship decided by 1 point?
Yes, it was 1 point.
1 point was actually. Hold on, let me. I have the.
Oh, Tom.
I have the records here.
While Tom's picking up those things, why don't we go ahead and thank the sponsors? I will start and thank our very own, now new, reigning defending one half of the reigning defending undisputed Chooserweight champions, Mr. Tiger
Uppercut
Bomb Tom, and his channel Casual Gaming Dad on Facebook. Go check him out. He does a lot of really cool runs. I feel bad. I have actually fallen behind on watching some of the streams. Tom, how is the God of War going?
I finished it up last week, Wednesday night.
All right.
It's amazing. I fought the Valkyrie Queen for the better part of an hour. That bitch was insanely difficult.
I've kept that game spoiler free because I thought eventually I would get myself into a PlayStation. And I'd really like to play it, so I kept myself spoiler free. But I kept hearing about the Valkyrie. It's nothing too spoilery, because you do come across one and then you find out there's more. So I mean, they're optional bosses. That the Valkyries don't really do anything too much in the way of spoiling the main storyline. But no, it's an awesome game. The way it ends, I hope they make a 5th one. So now I found myself, I'm like, well, what am I gonna do now on my night stream? So I decided to dive back into like some old the Resident Evil light gun games on the Wii, like Umbrella Chronicles. Yeah. Those are fun. Great.
And then real quick, I played through, and it's a short game, and I beat it today. At least for the first time. I'm glad it came out on PlayStation, because I don't have a Switch yet, and I've wanted this. The Untitled Goose Game.
Oh yeah, dude,
it is fucking hilarious, and I love it.
It's a lot of fun. My
kids were cracking the fuck up, man. I loved it.
I've done a really good job of, if I may say so myself, I've done a good job this year of buying Christmas presents for everybody. That I meant to. Other years I go like, oh, today's Wednesday before Christmas, I better get on that shit. You know what I mean? But I've done a really good job this year, and so I decided, I was like, well, I'm gonna make myself a little. What does Poot want? Christmas gift, and Untitled Goose Game is one of them.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny.
Honestly, like I feel like that the goose, like the way that you have to play the game and everything, I feel like that's Ransom's spirit animal.
Oh, it totally is. Absolutely. Well, the other game, Tom, if you can find it, and I'm gonna move on here, but Darkest Dungeon.
Okay. What system is it on?
I know it's on Switch and PC. It might be on other platforms. I'm not sure. But those are the two worlds I operate in, so I know they're available. Dude, it is really addicting. It's really fun. You should check it out. Okay.
I definitely will. Yeah, but I plan on getting the Switch probably either like right after the holiday season or like income tax return time. So
aces. So we have.
Hold on, wait. I want to ask one more video game question.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Switch, did you see the Breath of the Wild 2 little teaser thing that they did at, I think it was E3?
Oh yes.
I saw that there's something in the works. Yeah.
The first one. Oh, so did you play the first one?
Yes.
I have not, but I'm not going to be mad if anything gets spoiled because it's been out for long enough. I have it on the Wii U and I just never got time to play it. So.
I have in fact played it. I love it.
So you know how they have like the mummified Sheikah in that? Like they're the ones that give you like the spirit orbs or whatever.
Orbs, yeah.
They're like the mummified ones or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you see in the trailer where they showed a mummified Ganondorf?
Yes.
And then his eyes light up.
Dude, and like the very end of it is like right before it cuts away, it shows Hyrule Castle lifting up.
Yep.
We're like, yep.
That was.
Sold.
I would say that was my only complaint about Breath of the Wild, and I understand it's my own personal complaint, and not every Zelda game needs to have a Ganondorf in it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't like the way that they portrayed Ganon in that game. I didn't like the whole Calamity Ganon thing. I didn't like that there were 4 versions of him that were in each like of the temples or whatnot. I didn't like the way he was portrayed.
The reason I liked it was because, and we're not going to make this a video game podcast all of a sudden, folks. Trust me. But like, maybe Beef's gone. We can do whatever the fuck we want. But the reason I liked it was because it lended itself to the idea that Ganon was really something that was more of a force and more of something that was more primal and intangible, if that makes sense. Like, it was something that was more like, Link's there, Zelda's there, they have their powers, they're strong as they are. But, like, the idea of Calamity Ganon and the idea of Ganon in the 4 parts that he was, like, I like the idea of the way they did it because it made him feel more like an idea versus like, here's Ganondorf. Oh, he transformed into Ganon, beat pig version of Ganondorf. Like, not saying that's bad, honestly, but it made him feel more like it's something, even if you beat him now, he will still be there.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it's always been over the course of the whole games too. It's like, because everybody, like, you have the different timelines, and Link, it's a kind of a play on the name because there's always some sort of the name is Link, and you're linking these different timelines together and different periods of stuff. Yeah, let
me pose something to you guys.
Yeah,
what if we did make this episode? What if we made episode 30, which is this is what this is, by the way.
Oh, wow. Dirty 30.
Yeah, Dirty 30, and Beef's not here. So what if we made this, if we really fast reviewed, like talked about TLC, and then just talked about video games the rest of the time and called it the episode 30, the 8-bit, the 8-bit episode.
Oh, man. Look, I'm all for that, but maybe a different episode because I feel like we'd be slighting Beef. Yeah, he's got a lot of good video game knowledge, and I feel like he would really want to be a part of that if we did a video game episode.
He could opine upon that. But, okay, so let me thank the other sponsors, okay? So, Tiger on Tom, also Casual Gaming Dad 84 on Twitch and YouTube, correct?
YouTube is just Casual Gaming Dad right now. I couldn't tell you what the hyperlink is because it's whatever, but just the same as the same black and white logo that you see on Facebook. That's the one on YouTube until I hit the 100 subscriber mark, 100 subscriber mark, and I can actually get my own personalized, link or whatever. So
kind of like youtube.com/Poot The Bard. Anyway,
exactly.
But then we also want to thank Sean Tischler and his work with IWC as well. We had a blast at IWC Clearfield 10. It was so much fun, and it kind of reignited and also started the flame for some of us of like going and seeing live wrestling shows, especially indie shows. And again, rest in peace, the era of Argos. I now feel your pain, Jackson.
Yep.
I now feel your pain. We are together.
No fear. The age of Argos will be back, as will the age of the Bard. I'm confident.
Oh, yes, it will, sir. I'm looking forward to that day. But anyway, thank you very much, Tim. And also thank you to Gould Gaming as well, offering on Casual Gaming Dad's merch page over on Gould Gaming. We also have T-shirts for the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast. You can go ahead and pick those up as well. They're really nice T-shirts. And if they fit my big, dumb, fat ass, they will fit yours. Trust me. So, but anyway, those are our sponsors. Thank you all very much for helping us out and supporting us. Fellas, really quick, before we get really super deep into anything, I want to hear both of your takes on what you thought about TLC from this past weekend while I go have a piss.
Well, I'd be remiss if before we dive into that, if I also didn't acknowledge a new champion as well outside of the P3 podcast.
Who's that?
Because what?
Who's that?
Oh, I like how he can still hear us. So there was more wrestling than just TLC this week, and I just want to touch on this real quick, and we'll circle back around to it because there's another point to make off of it. But Friday night, Ring of Honor had a pay-per-view. Saturday night, NWA Power, they had a show, a pay-per-view show, and then Sunday was TLC. Friday night, you got a new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion in PCO. Now, I don't know shit about PCO. The only thing I know about PCO is the video I saw of him taking the suicide dive to the outside of the ring with nobody there. That's the only thing I know about PCO.
Was he the guy that did that on purpose?
Yes.
Ugh.
He's the champ.
Good job, Ring of Honor.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's an interesting situation now because PCO is apparently kind of like this feel-good story. We'll see how long that lasts. And connecting the Ring of Honor to NWA, Marty Scurll, the villain, showed up at NWA Power at the end of the show on Saturday night. Now, Marty's pretty much the hottest free agent right now, so it'll be interesting to see if he sticks with Ring of Honor, if they do whatever they can to keep him in there, or if he goes to NWA, or if he goes to AEW, or whatever. But we'll get to all of that. In regards to TLC, I'm not going to lie. I missed the first two matches, which from all accounts of what I heard was probably the best two matches of the show. Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy, and then the New Day versus the Revival. The rest of the show, honestly, overall it felt kind of lackluster to me. I mean, the main event was okay with the Kabuki Warriors and versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, a TLC match, but I feel like it lacked a lot of good TLC match psychology.
Well, part of the problem was Kairi Sane got a concussion during that match.
That's what I'm hearing, and I'm not sure when it happened, but like if that's the case, then yeah, I can understand why like the pace got slowed down. But sometimes some of the things they did, like I borrow this from one Mr. Bully Ray, because if there's anybody that knows about TLC match psychology, it'd be that man.
Yeah.
He brought up a phrase, and sometimes this is something that I used also to describe the Moxley Kenny Omega match that they had at AEW. Sometimes you have violence for the sake of violence, and that doesn't always translate well. You still need a certain psychology of the match, and there is even in a TLC match when everything's supposed, all the rules are supposed to be out the window. There's still a certain psychology to follow, and I don't know that they hit the mark on that.
Well, and not trying to interrupt you, Ransom. I have 2 points, and they'll be quick. Number one, okay. Marty Scurll appearing on NWA Power, digressing a little bit. It's great for NWA Power. It's going to give them a boost. Man, he belongs in AEW. He does. He just does. Marty, come on. Just go. There or back to New Japan. I don't care which one. Just don't go. I think he could do well in NXT, but I don't want to ever see him go on the main roster of WWE because it'll spoil the shit out of him. Anyway, moving on. The psychology of that, I think the reason they didn't have it is because all the women in that match, I don't think any of them really have a lot of experience with those type of matches, so they were kind of finding their way.
I'll give you that. I can chalk it up to a little bit of the lack of experience for a TLC match, but that's also why you have the backstage match producers to help them with that. And I'm sure if they look around to whoever there, any producer, or if not the producer, just talk to somebody, hit up somebody like a Bully Ray. I mean, there's, people have those connections, go back and study some stuff, watch the tape. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just, they missed the mark for whatever reason it was, whether it's Kari, being concussed and out on her feet and just kind of going on autopilot. That happens. And especially if it happens in a TLC match, you guys are really fucked then, because everything has to stick to a certain game plan when it comes to a TLC match. It's one thing if it's it's one thing if it's just a regular match, or if it was only a regular triple threat or a regular, four-way or something. You could get away with one person kind of being out of the picture and still kind of filling some spots, but in something like that, everybody has to know everybody else's spots. Everybody kind of has to know the whole damn match. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it couldn't be easy, and I'm, don't get me wrong. I mean, they still put on a really good match. It just kind of missed the mark for me personally a little bit. What say you, Ransom? I don't know if you watched it or not. So,
no, I watched the highlights, bits and pieces, but okay. I agree that there's definitely a psychology in TLC matches that differs dramatically from just your regular run-of-the-mill hardcore match.
Right.
And I don't put them in a TLC match, there's no rules, all bets are off, you can use whatever you want. But at the same time, I see a dramatic difference between a TLC and a regular old hardcore. Sure, you can use the same weapons or the same extracurricular things, but the match itself, has I feel, I don't know, I could catch flack for this, or maybe not, because I don't know who listens to this show, but I feel like a hardcore match is kind of like the dummies wrestling match. Boom. Okay, it's a hardcore match. You could just beat each other with whatever you want. You don't have to have good ring skills to have a good hardcore match. I mean, look at freaking the Sandman. Sandman had no technical in-ring skills, but he could put on a great hardcore match. I think the hardcore match is like the dummies wrestling match. Get in there, beat the shit out of each other, hit everybody with what you want, go home. Whereas a TLC match, you have to be spot on with everything you do, because the danger is escalated that much more. And that's especially even more dangerous whenever you have either a one-on-one tag team match and one of the participants gets concussed. Because now you turn that danger factor times 10. Because you've got one person that's concussed, they take one wrong smash of a ladder, one wrong drop off of the ladder, and they could do some really, really bad things to themselves. And I don't necessarily know, maybe it's for a lack of experience for those people involved in this one. But for me, I think that you have to have, I don't know, I think some people are cut out to put on a TLC match and some people aren't. Not to say that they might not put on a good TLC match in the future, or one or a few of their participants might not be able to do a good TLC match in the future, but it goes back to like what you guys were saying. Go back and watch some old matches. Get some pointers from there. Triple H, I don't know that he was ever in a great TLC match, but what the hell? Like, he is a hell of a resource. Use him. Regardless of whether or not he put on a good TLC match or if he was ever in one, he still has that type of psychology where he could walk you through what you need to do to put on a grand TLC match. And for me, what I saw of it was lackluster. These ladies are amazing wrestlers. They could put on a hell of a match. Not taking anything away from them. I just don't think that this particular match was all that great.
Well, I feel like you're kind of hitting the nail on the head when you say it was a lackluster TLC match. If you took the ladder aspect out of it, of having to grab the titles off of the hanging whatchamacallit, like take the ladder match aspect out of it, hell of a hardcore match. That's the thing. And you said it, the hardcore match is the dummies match. You know what? You're half right and you're half wrong, in my opinion. You're half right in the sense that it's like, you could take me and you, Ransom, and put us in a ring and give us a bunch of like ridiculous BS to hit each other with, and I guarantee you and I could make it fun. We could make whoever's watching like have a good time. Would it be a good match though? Probably not. But it would be a lot of fun to watch. But that's the thing. It's like if we take the aspect out of it of the hanging belts, they had a really interesting, really fun hardcore match, and that's the point. Yeah, you mentioned Sandman. Sure, he could go out there and whack people with a kendo stick or a Singapore cane or whatever the hell you want to call it, and smack people with like cookie sheets and keyboards and power bomb them into whatever the fuck. But like, that was the thing. It was just like Sandman would look at the crowd and go, "You want to see me do something badass?" They'd cheer. He'd do something badass. Grab the opponent and go, "You want to see me do something badass?" And they'd cheer, and he'd swill a beer and whatever. To see people like Sabu or Al Snow or Mick Foley or some of the guys who participated in the death matches in Japan put on those matches, it makes it interesting because you believe these people are psychotic. I think they put on a really good, the ladies at TLC put on a really good hardcore match, not a good TLC match.
Yeah, and I think one of the better matches of the show was a match that had no crazy stipulations or anything like that.
Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black?
You know what? I can't speak to that personally because I didn't see it, but by all accounts, yes.
It was really good.
That's what I've heard. I still have to go back and watch it. But I was going to say, as far as the psychology, especially, Bray Wyatt and The Miz was a fantastic psychology type of match.
Wasn't it, though?
It was. Now, I know you said you watched the highlights and stuff, Ransom, but if you get a chance to go back and watch one match, I don't doubt that Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy was a phenomenal match, both in ring skill and probably psychology as well.
It was a phenomenal technical match.
Okay, we'll go with that. There you go. But if you want a match where you talk psychology, man, this one fucking knocked it out of the park with Bray Wyatt and The Miz because we got Sweater Bray. We'd been taught. How many times did we talk about it here on the podcast about, like, hey, it'd be kind of cool if they had like Sweater Bray come out instead of, The Fiend. And that's exactly what. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like they missed the mark not having him come out in the Muscle Man stuff.
Yes and no. I mean, that could still happen. We could still get that iteration of him too. But I liked it because he came out in the sweater and he's got the Universal title and he's waving everybody like hi, and he's all smiles and everything, and he was pandering to the crowd, and the crowd was in the palm of his hands, man. And then throughout the match, you see Miz is just stone cold face like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and he's he's getting the better of Bray and stuff. And a couple different times, Bray is just smiling. He's like, did you get it all out, Miz? Are you good now? Are you good? Just I'm here to help you. Did you get it all out of your system now? And then a couple of times where like he looked like he was gonna flip the switch, and he's like just kind of like, all right, you're done fucking beating the shit out of me. You're done, and just that. Then like towards the end of the match and everything like that, or was it right after? I'm losing track now with how things played out. But like the lights started to go out, like the Fiend would come out. And Bray's in the ring, and he's like, "He's here! He's here!" And he's all excited, and then that's whenever we got the return of one Mr. American Dragon, Daniel Bryan. So,
and that leads to my point. I called the Miz on this match,
right?
Because it wasn't a title match, it wasn't the Fiend. And I knew there was some fuckery going to happen with Daniel Bryan. Now,
you weren't wrong.
That was the problem. I had the right idea. It was just that the WWE executed it in an order that didn't befit me holding on to the belt.
Right.
Because I thought exactly what Daniel Bryan did was going to happen during the match to have Miz get one over on Bray Wyatt and cause all kinds of crazy BS with the Fiend.
Yeah.
I don't... I get what you're saying, as far as the match goes, but I feel like there were times in that match where they really kind of blurred the lines between Fiend. Like I
think
feel
that's
like
the point,
I feel like it was, especially with all the Firefly Funhouse things, like I feel like they really tried to create this distance between the Bray Wyatt character and the Fiend character. And I feel like this match kind of muddied that water a little. And if that's what they were going for, they nailed it. But I don't know. I didn't like that aspect of it. I would have liked more if Bray Wyatt is clearly this character and the Fiend is clearly this character. And there's no muddying of the waters between the two. That's just my own personal thing. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was a very good match. But that was the only little bit of a negative in it for me.
Now,
and I don't understand what is it with the big stupid doink hammer.
I don't know either. That's something else altogether. I'm sure. I'm sure we could touch on if we need.
What the hell's that about?
The big doink hammer was from Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like,
I didn't watch that.
But that's the thing is like, I understand it's supposed to be both. Like, it's menacing because it's someone trying to be funny who is menacing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that with the Fiend. I don't want that kind of stuff. Like, have the Fiend, like, instead of that stupid, weird mallet, like, have the Fiend give Bray Wyatt, like, I don't know, like, a bowling ball wrapped, covered in thumbtacks. Like, give him something that's like, like an FU kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like something really sadistic.
Now, real quick, as far as the pay-per-view on a whole, you had asked earlier, Ransom, and I'll give you the records, the rundown. So yeah, the overall results for the TLC pay-per-view for us for the picks, Poot the Bard was sitting at 2-4, Beef the Legend an even killed 3-3, and myself and Ransom were at a 4-2. So the only two matches that the champ here, the former champ, was wrong on was Revival and The Miz. Which honestly, if there was going to be any one of the ones that you went out on a limb, those were probably the ones to do it. You know what I mean?
No, and that's why it took the risk, because I was like, man, I could see them putting the belts on the Revival, and I really, really thought that I had a kind of lock in on that the Daniel Bryan interference having the Miz go over.
Honestly, I gotta say the two losses that Ransom and I both suffered on Well, actually, we all suffered on Rusev and Roman Reigns. Holy shit, were we way off on the mark on those?
Yo, I even put up, before the match ended, I put up hashtag Rusev deserves better.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why is
I didn't watch Raw last night, so I have no idea what happened, if anything, after the fact of that match with the storyline. So I'll probably have to do that, after we get done recording, or after I do a little bit of a stream or something. But yeah,
that is such a stupid.
Oh, it was
stupid storyline.
It was. Thank God. Thank God. That's. It's got to be over now. I hope.
You would think that, but you know how WWE likes to beat a dead horse with a dead horse. So no,
oh my gosh! And look, I do want to say this. I know that Beef is really up CM Punk's ass as probably one of the biggest CM Punk marks I've ever known, aside from CM Punk himself. I think Beef is a close second to a CM Punk mark as CM Punk is to his own mark.
Nice.
But, I will say this about him. I'm glad that even though he's back working with WWE, he's not a corporate shill, and he'll call it how he sees it.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know. Oh, he doesn't work for WWE? He works for Fox?
He works for Fox.
Yeah, he works
even
for
there, I mean, WWE and Fox are kind of like the same thing now. You can't really badmouth WWE because you're kind of badmouthing Fox. But Fox tweeted out, a picture of the match and said, I know CM Punk is going to have something to say about this one. And CM Punk replied to that tweet with a picture of him watching a hockey game.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything, just a picture of his TV with a hockey game on. And thank God for CM Punk, because, he's not a corporate shill to WWE or to Fox. And I think that's how we pretty much all feel at this point. Like, oh, is there going to be a Rusev Lashley match? I'm going to watch something else, or I'm going to go poop. I'm going to do something other than watch this stupid match.
Dude, I will say this. Taking the storyline out of everything, they put on a pretty good match. The end obviously was botched a little bit.
I honestly didn't watch it. I was wrapping gifts.
I watched it.
But that's the thing, though. Like, and I think this is where WWE fails WWE, or WWE fails their own talent. I'm not totally convinced that Rusev and Lashley couldn't put on a good match. I think they probably could. But the stupid angle and the stupid storyline that they're in ruins any sort of quality caliber match that those two have.
Oh, agreed.
If this whole stupid Lana cuckold bullshit storyline wasn't involved in it, if it was just, those two guys feuding, I could probably watch those matches and be sports entertained.
What,
I can't be sports entertained because of the angle that they're in. It's too much.
You're not in the Cucksev day? No,
it's too much. I can't do it.
I agree. And that's the thing, is that Rusev is so over. People love him. They love him. And it's insanity that WWE is not pulling the trigger on this. Like that. Well, and the other thing is too, after the match, I thought the most poignant part of this was whenever the match was over and Lashley won, Lana visibly was like, I hate this. And not like in a storyline.
I'm sure she does. As being the real life wife of Rusev, I'm sure she absolutely hates it.
And not in like the storyline like, oh, I still love, Rusev, and I still feel something for him. No, she's visibly like, I'm over this.
Oh, well, she is echoing pretty much the sentiment of every WWE fan. I don't know what WWE fan out there goes, boy, I can't wait to see how Lashley bones Lana and makes Rusev grumpy again on the next episode of WWE as the world turns.
Well, here's the one thing. Another reason why she could have had her
world turns.
I know, right? As another reason she could have had her panties in a twist was because of something that CM Punk apparently said on backstage, where he said the way that he would do this angle is like basically
live sex celebration.
Well, damn, still my thunder. That's all right. I stole your title. Oh no, I'm taking
you and another person had to take the title from me, Cowboy. Don't feel so big in your britches.
Don't
go on.
roping me into this taking the title for nothing.
I didn't ask for his help to
botched
take
into
the
this title reign. Let's not confuse things.
He stumbled into it.
Yeah, look, WWE has a history, a colored fucking history of missing the mark on wrestlers who have gotten over on their own and that the crowd loves. This is an echo back to Daniel Bryan. I mean, the crowd basically had to shit down WWE's throat for them to recognize, oh, crap, Daniel Bryan got over. The crowd loves him. We haven't done anything with this for who knows how long. We're finally going to put the title on this guy. They could have had another magical freaking title run with Rusev. He could have sold shit tons of merch. He got, the crowd is always hot for him, and they put him in this big steaming dump of an angle with Bobby Lashley. I don't understand why they can't get out of their own way to save their lives.
Well, here's that's kind of an interesting point. And I think the key things that you said was somebody that got themselves over, because it wasn't Vince McMahon's brainchild.
All right,
it was somebody else that did it. So there's that. But that's a whole nother sidebar there. No, what CM Punk had suggested was basically that after this match or whatever, regardless of who won or not, okay, Lashley's with Lana. And, they do whatever they do off on their own, and Rusev's not with her anymore, and he's glad to be done with her. And then at some point, Lashley gets sick of her shit, and the two of them find a common ground in the, man, I had to deal with this crazy bitch, and they form a tag team. And then Lana, now being all butthurt that neither one of them want anything to do with her, finds some other tag team to basically do her dirty work and carry out her revenge against them. That seems very
Tom. Quit talking about my relationship back in 2013.
Oh Jesus, I don't even want to know.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. as we're sitting here on fire, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
No, but I mean, and that would be a very long and drawn out thing, but it's one of those ones where, okay, maybe you get maybe the payoff is worth it in the end. I understand. We've bitched about it before about Vince McMahon being very short-sighted and going for the quick cash grab and not investing in a longer storyline. And if that's what they were trying to do here, I think they're failing, because it's just a storyline where you have to, and in any storyline, however long the program is, the key is you have to be emotionally invested. So why am I going to be emotionally invested in this cuckold angle unless I'm somebody who's been in that situation? Maybe that's the only kind of lowest common denominator. But if I've been in that situation where I've been in, for all storyline purposes, if I've been in Rusev's shoes and that happened to me, do I really want to sit there and relive that? I mean, I don't know. That's just me.
Maybe Vince McMahon is into the cuck.
Maybe
he's into cucking. Could be.
Look back at the Mr. McMahon storylines that he was in.
Oh yeah, with
look back at this stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. This is Vince McMahon written all over it, and this seems like one of those stupid ass gimmicks that he would look at and go, "This is gonna be great. This is gonna be hilarious.
It's good.
I can't wait to watch." People are gonna want to tune in every week to see what develops next with this trio of lovers. Stop it. This has every characteristic of the Mr. McMahon, oversexed grapefruits genetic jackhammer bullshit whenever he was on TV. It's not something that the WWE fan is going to look at and go, yeah, I can get emotionally invested in this storyline, or even get remotely, not emotionally invested, just remotely interested in it. It's that stupid and I hate
lowest
that term,
common
the whole misogynistic thing. I hate it.
Why?
But it's that what?
No, I was going to say you hate that term or you hate everything that goes along with that term?
No, I hate the term. I hate the whole, like, well, you're a misogynistic, blah, blah. Oh, shut up. Get over it. Don't be
okay.
But I don't know. Like, why on earth would you choose to make this storyline? And I know the answer to it. The answer is because of Vince McMahon. But, like, why would you make this storyline the one that you want to put longevity in? Exactly. You have so many different developing storylines that you start and then kill so quick before people have a chance to get involved in it. Now you're going to make this one the one that you really want to you want to drag this one out because people are really going to get charged. No, they're not. They're not. They were sick of it. Freaking week 3 of it. And you continue to drag this bullshit on. Please let this angle die. It's a garbage angle.
I was sick of it week 1, and I think part of it is because they came out with like gratuitous making out and stuff like that. If they would have saved that if they would have saved the gratuitous makeout sessions for a little bit later and built to that, maybe I would have felt a little bit differently. I still probably wouldn't have cared for the angle, but I was sick of it from the word go. That's just me.
It's just there's no believability in it. There was believability in the Edge Lita Matt Hardy storyline
because it was real.
It was real.
Yes, that stemmed from reality.
It did.
So if you want to make that into an angle, if all 3 participants are okay with doing that and you want to stem that into an angle, that angle works because people are smart nowadays. People have the internet whenever that happens. So people knew that was a real life thing that happened. Lita and Matt Hardy were together. Matt Hardy got hurt or he was on a different show or he was out somewhere. He started traveling with Edge and Lita and Edge hooked up. Matt Hardy lost his shit over it, got fired. You can make that into a believable storyline because it happened, based in reality.
Well, and same thing.
This stupid angle is not based in reality. It's based in stupid Vince McMahon's oversexed, balls-deep imagination, and he loves it, and he's shoving it down people's throats. Stop it.
And the same thing could be said for if they ever decided to do a storyline. I know I don't watch it, but I know just from seeing commercials that they touched on it with on Total Divas, like the stuff that happened with Carmella and Corey Graves. Yeah, it's real life. It's a real life situation. We talked about it on the podcast. It happened, but I feel it seems like from all accounts, all those parties have moved on. Does that mean that they're going to make it into a storyline? No, but they don't necessarily need to. But like you said, the big thing is believability. We understand that pro wrestling is scripted. We understand it's quote unquote sports entertainment. So yeah, you have to have you have to suspend your disbelief. Yeah. So, but you still want some sort of believability. Like I still, from being a lifelong fan, do we call every match right? No, we don't. But there are times where I'm like, wow, I really did not see that coming. And I'm glad that happens because it still lends to some sort of believability that like, oh, I really don't know what's going to happen. Maybe, like what is real, what is not, like, let's blur the line.
But then that also lends to the fact that when you are like a smart fan or you've been a lifelong fan and you kind of are, in a little bit on what's happening. The problem is then whenever you don't call something right and they do take a left-hand turn, you go, oh, this means that everything is going to get better and they're going to start making better calls and they're going to start this. And then you're disappointed again when they don't. And you're like, oh, so it's just the same. Okay. Got it. Now,
real quick, to kind of segue a little bit, Ransom had talked about, people getting themselves over. Somebody who, over the course of the last number of years has gotten himself over tremendously. I mentioned him before earlier on was the villain Marty Scurll.
Oh yeah, man.
And we talked and you talked a little bit about it, Poot, saying, like where you thought like he would do well or where he wouldn't. I'd also like to get Ransom's opinion on this. What he thinks. I think personally myself, I gotta disagree with you a little bit on something though. With Marty Scurll, I agree NXT would be a good fit for him. But I wouldn't ever want to see him get called up to Raw or SmackDown because I feel like I said. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree New Japan. I I disagree, though. However, sending him to AEW, and here's why. Huh. Yes, his friends. Yeah. Oh, wait for this.
I'm waiting.
It'll make you scratch the chin a little. So,
all 6 of them.
Yeah. Hey. I wasn't gonna.
I sympathize with that remark.
Okay.
I sympathize with that remark.
No, yes, all his friends, all the Bucks and everybody are over there in AEW.
Yes,
but it's like one of those things. It's one of those situations where you already have so many high profile people over there in AEW that you need to build up some of the younger talent and stuff like that. Like you've got Jericho, SCU, the Bucks. You've got Cody, who is bigger than AEW itself by all accounts. Look at his fucking pyro and his entrance, for God's sakes. But you got some guys that you need to those are your guys that you're building around right now. So you got some of these other teams and stuff that you need to build up, like your Jurassic Express, like your MJF and Wardlow, like to a degree, you even got your Joey Janela. You need Moxley is pretty well established as it is too, but you could always take him to the next level by putting a championship on him. So if you have all these people that are already kind of high up on the pecking order, doesn't Scroll kind of get lost in there a little bit? Like he wouldn't feel like he had as big of an impact in AEW, because then who do you put him with? Like, what young talent do you put him with, or who's he helped get over, or anything like that?
Can I interject here and
please.
voice opinion?
Yeah,
please.
Go ahead.
So I think you both make valid points. I agree with Poot and Tom when you say if he goes to WWE, I would want to see him strictly on NXT, because we touched on it on earlier podcasts. We even touched on it on this podcast. If he gets big in NXT, if they move him to Raw or SmackDown, he's going to go into mid-card obscurity. I don't care how good he is. I don't care how entertaining he is. I don't care how phenomenal his matches are, how good he is on the mic. I don't care what recognition he has coming from other places. He's going to go to Raw or SmackDown, and he'll get lost in mid-card obscurity, because Vince McMahon is not going to push him to the top and keep him there, because he made a name for himself somewhere else. So if he goes to NXT, I think Triple H will use him correctly. I think he would go quickly towards a NXT title hunt. Whether he captures it off the bat quick or not, I don't know. But I think he would pretty much skyrocket probably to the top. I think there are a lot of young talent over there that he can have matches with, put on really good programs, and I think a lot of us would be very much sports entertained by it.
Now, I believe that probably the best place for Marty Scurll right now, believe it or not, I believe he needs to stick in Ring of Honor, and I think Ring of Honor needs to do hear me out. Ring of Honor needs to do whatever they can to keep him there. Now, not necessarily keeping him just Ring of Honor exclusive. Like, if he wants to work some other, if he wants to work a few short TNA programs, doing something with Nick Aldis or whatever, let him do that. But Ring of Honor, if they're smart, they need to secure him, because it should have been Marty Scurll, not Matt Taven, that won at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, no offense to Matt Taven. I don't know a whole lot about Matt Taven, but just the little bit that I saw, I don't have a problem with him. But PCO being the Ring of Honor champ right now, you have that. Let him have it for a little bit. Let that feel good thing happen. I don't know how long of a program you do with that, but then you have some really good heel come up, take the title off of PCO. And if they're smart, their next move after that would be putting that title on Marty Scurll, because they had it there in the palm of their hands and they should have put it on him in the garden. And why they didn't is beyond me. But
let me get back to finish my point that I was making earlier.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Marty Scurll, was he a Bullet Club member?
Yes.
Okay. So here's where I think that AEW might be a better option for him. Because I really want to say that the diehard AEW fans know the history of a lot of these guys. They know the history of the Bullet Club. They know the history of Cody. They know the history of the Bucks. Adam Page. They know these guys. So if Marty Scurll were to go to AEW, I think they could introduce him and really build around him like, okay, this is another Bullet Club guy coming into AEW. What's he going to do? Is he going to align himself with Cody? Is he going to align himself with the Bucks? Are they going to kind of redo another Bullet Club thing? You could have, Jericho and the Inner Circle do like a little tease to where like they try to recruit him. I think there are a lot of options for him as far as storyline goes in AEW. I don't think he would get lost in the bucket of talent that they have. Cream rises to the top, and if you're the cream of the crop, I think you're gonna rise above other people. You're not gonna get buried anywhere. Hang on, I heard somebody take a breath. Hang on.
What? Can I go ahead?
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Shit, I got derailed. I think he has better options in AEW for interesting, stable storylines. Not like stability, but what stable is he going to go with? Is he going to be by himself? Is he going to align with some of these guys? It's hard to say. I think he could have really good matches in NXT, but I think AEW is probably his best choice.
I guess maybe I phrased it completely wrong. Maybe not so much lost in the shuffle, but I feel like that if he went to AEW, the top card end would be like too top heavy, if that makes sense. I don't know.
It could be, but is that necessarily a bad thing to have the top of your card be top card heavy? I mean, essentially those are people and those are matches that everybody's going to want to see. So it keeps the fans more invested as opposed to, oh, this guy's facing Johnny Nobody. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care if Marty Scurll's going to go to NXT or Ring of Honor or New Japan and face, Billy Bob, who cares? I'm not invested in that. But if he's going and facing Jericho and Cody, he teams up with somebody and faces the Bucks, or even if he goes to NXT, he goes NXT and feuds with Adam Cole. Yeah, man, like that's high profile, and I'm interested in that kind of stuff.
Well,
and the big, I think the big leagues nowadays, WWE was always the measuring stick. Like, it was, if you make it to WWE, you make it to the big league. I think when it comes to the promotions that are out there nowadays, I think some guys would be completely content with going from, like a Ring of Honor, New Japan, what have you, which in my view are kind of the middle promotions. I mean, if you make it to AEW, they've got weekly television programs, they got monthly pay-per-views. That's also kind of like making it to the big time.
That's the one thing that regardless if Marty Scurll stays in Ring of Honor or not, Ring of Honor needs to get on, even if it's taped, even if they do like how NWA does, they need like weekly episodic TV, which they don't have, because I couldn't even tell you the last time I saw Ring of Honor on TV, but when I do, I have no idea like if it's, I know it's not current. I know it's not, because I've asked somebody that before, and they're like, no, they're like 6 months behind on TV. I'm like, well, what the fuck's the point then? Like, why am I watching? Why am I watching? Give me a reason.
If you're a free agent, you need to make it. You need to get to one of those promotions that has, whether you, like you said, whether it's taped or whether it's live, but it needs to be on TV weekly.
Yep.
And I feel like Marty Scurll will be doing himself a disservice if he did not go to one of those promotions.
Even though I know Beef and us have kind of shit on it a little bit with some of the stuff that they've been doing, but fucking Impact, they're doing weekly stuff, whether or not it's the greatest product at the time or not, that that everybody has their own preference, but Impact is doing some stuff. They got weekly stuff, and they're on Access, so it's not just whatever like Pop TV or whatever anymore. It's a step up from where they were, and they've got some really good talent over there, and Sammy Callahan and Tessa Blanchard. And but go ahead, Poot. I know you were chomping at the bit for a point there.
I understand why you would say this about Marty Scurll and not wanting him to go to AEW. I do. You don't want him getting lost in the mix, and I don't think it would be, oh well, we're going to push Marty because everyone in the front office is buddies with him. I really don't. Marty Scurll is, in my opinion, one of the best wrestlers today as far as it goes on the independent scene for psychology and in-ring talent with what he does. He is like an evil modern day Bob Backlund. Like it's not like in the insane, like, Bob Backlund's character where he's like wild-eyed and everything like that, but how he works in the ring. And he can work with anyone of any style and make it interesting. That's something that a lot of wrestlers can't do. They can't. Like, he can go from working a match with a Wardlow to then working a match with Zack Sabre Jr. to then going and working a match with what's his name? The other British wrestler that Seth Rollins was feuding with on Twitter.
Ospreay?
Yeah, Will Ospreay. Yeah, how could I forget Will Ospreay? But like Will Ospreay, like he can work any of those styles and anything in between and make it believable and make it enjoyable. Like, that's the thing. Marty Scurll is a really good foil for anybody out there. That's why I said Marty Scurll going to AEW would be great. Also, because if you notice right now, AEW is building a lot of stables.
Yeah, they really are.
The Inner Circle. You have Nightmare, the Nightmare Collective.
Brandy Rhodes' thing. Yeah, that's something.
And then you supposedly have a little bit of growth with the Dark Order.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is they're building all these. You know what? Yeah, the Dark Order are bad guys, but they're not villains. Like, Villain Enterprises, there's been a lot of teasing of Marty Scurll, Luke Harper, and then once he gets well, oh my God, what is wrong with me tonight? I'm forgetting. He does the coffin drop.
Darby Allin.
Thank you. Jesus, what is wrong with me?
And
Darby Allin,
and having his girlfriend.
And his girl. Well, not even going so far as his girlfriend. That would be awesome if it was there. But like those guys being the new Villain Club, and having them be.
Oh, that would be really.
Oh my God, Darby Allin, Marty Scurll, and Brody Lee. Oh, come on, like that's a no-brainer. Like,
and you're not going to get stables. You're not going to get a Villain Enterprises stable in WWE.
No,
you might in NXT. NXT's got some stables in it. They've got some teams.
It wouldn't be done right though.
What? No, I don't think it would, and I don't know who they would put in Villain Enterprises to NXT. If he goes to Raw or SmackDown, that's done.
If you think about it, there's really only, I don't know if you want to count Shayna Baszler and Maria and Jessamine Duke as a stable necessarily. Yeah. They calling them the whatever, I don't know, the horsewomen and
the new horsewomen or whatever the fuck.
I don't know what they necessarily call them. But you really think about it, you only have one real true. Well, no, I guess Forgotten Sons, but they're
more of a trio. They were pushing them.
They're forgotten.
That makes me sad, man, because those guys,
Dude, Jackson Riker's a fucking beast-looking motherfucker.
Oh,
like,
dude.
holy shit.
What if you had Jackson Riker basically be the new PCO of the group?
Ooh,
right?
But I was gonna say you're only I consider a stable to be 4 or more. We'll say I don't know, like
Okay,
a true
that's
like,
fair.
I mean, yeah, because you can have trios and stuff, but I mean, like a real stable. When I think of a stable, I think of like 4 or more. Me personally, I know it can be done.
When I think of stables, you harken back to the Triple H led DX
Nation of Domination.
Nation of Domination. Yeah, you look like those are stables. Those aren't just like a tag team.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, that for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, then with that logic, there's really only one stable, and that's Undisputed Era. So you don't have.
What about Walter? Are they technically a stable?
Oh yeah,
but they haven't.
Imperium.
I'll be honest. I have not. I still need to catch up on NXT UK. I started to a little bit, but I'm still at least a good couple of weeks behind. At the very least, but I know that they were kind of introducing Walter and Imperium into regular NXT. I think the next NXT UK takeover is here in January or February. I think I can't remember.
Now, is there a takeover for Rumble weekend?
I don't know yet.
Yes, I think they do one for each big 4.
You would think so. I think they're supposed to, but I honestly, no. Wait, when the hell is it? There's oh shit. There's a takeover Portland. I remember hearing them talk about that.
That's gonna be the most hipster takeover ever.
But I don't know when that is. So, in any case, I guess traditionally, like, Vince is not typically very stable heavy in general, which surprises me because you had quite a number in the 90s, but I don't know.
And they did well too. Like they really did well. So I don't know why he's so down on stables whenever he had some of his most successful people, if you think about it, come from stables. I mean, The Rock came from the Nation. Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Well, Shawn Michaels was a big deal kind of before DX, but you had Triple H come from DX, the Outlaws.
Evolution.
They were pretty big.
You had Orton and Batista out of Evolution.
Technically, Stone Cold came out of Ted DiBiase's little thing.
Yeah.
What did he have with him being the ringmaster? Who else was in there?
It was Ted DiBiase. At the time, I think it was Ted DiBiase, IRS, and the ringmaster.
Really?
I can't remember if they were ever a team or not. I don't know a lot about the early Stone Cold and WWE days.
Me neither. I wasn't
either.
I wasn't really watching at that time.
Yeah, I only ever remember DiBiase and IRS, being Money Inc. I don't remember them having more than just them. I thought they were just the tag team, but I could be wrong. There might have been a short program where they added in somebody else. I could be wrong. Well, you know what? That's almost a good segue. Trying to test our breadth of knowledge from the past. You guys want to get into some hot tag trivia?
Oh shit, I forgot to do that. Yeah, sure. I'll look something
before
up.
we do that. While Poot's looking that up, I want to touch on one thing real quick here.
Yeah.
I think it was Bully Ray, or I can't remember who it was, but somebody brought up the fact that whenever they're going to induct the NWO into the WWE Hall of Fame, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin.
Ransom.
Of all the people, why X-Pac? I mean, was he integral in the formation of the NWO?
He was. He was the 6th member, hence the name 6.
He was an early. Yeah, that's when he was 6.
I mean, it's Sean. They're inducting Sean Waltman. Let's be fair here.
Right. Yeah, they're inducting Sean Waltman. But my question is when you induct the one of the guys who I feel is a cog in the NWO wheel was Eric Bischoff.
Absolutely.
Like Eric, the NWO was Eric Bischoff's brainchild. He was part of the stable. That was kind of like one of the huge coups of WCW was, like the president of WCW, Eric Bischoff, is now a member of the NWO. He put it together. He was a member of it, and he's not getting inducted into the Hall of Fame with the NWO. Somebody, I want to say Bully Ray, but I could be wrong, said that it was a travesty that Eric Bischoff isn't being inducted with probably the hottest thing to ever come out of WCW. And I want to get your guys' opinion. Do you think that an Eric Bischoff inclusion would be warranted in the NWO Hall of Fame, or not so much?
I mean, I can see how it makes sense to have him in there. I'm not completely like up in arms, like, oh my God, what are they thinking? I definitely can see having him in there. If they don't have him, if they weren't gonna have him in there, I think at the very least they're probably gonna have him introduce them, which, and by all accounts, if Bischoff is cool with that, and from all accounts, I don't think there's any hard feelings with whenever Bischoff got let go here from his role as the head of creative or whatever for SmackDown. I think honestly Eric Bischoff himself could be warranted as just being inducted by himself in the WWE Hall of Fame, because if it wasn't for Eric Bischoff, there really wouldn't necessarily be the Monday Night Wars, and you wouldn't have some of the characters or some of the the bars raised to the point that they were on Monday Night Raw and everything like that during the Attitude Era. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be the same. You wouldn't necessarily have the Attitude Era if it wasn't for the Monday Night Wars. So
right.
I'm okay if Eric's not being included in the NWO. However, I would like to see him at some point inducted by himself into the Hall of Fame.
So that was going to be my theory or suggestion on on the whole thing is if they're keeping him out of being inducted into the Hall of Fame with the NWO, strictly to be able to induct him by himself at some point. Excuse me. I'm fine with that because, regardless of how you feel about WCW and Eric Bischoff, he himself played such a pivotal role in the world of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Like you said, what's the word I'm looking for? The whole sphere of sports entertainment, I feel, would be completely different today if it hadn't been for Eric Bischoff.
Right.
Sure, they lost the war and WCW did some, goofy shit. But, I mean, he really did, the Monday Night War did more to help professional wrestling than it did to hurt professional.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did.
Because competition breeds excellence, which is why we're lucking out having, the Wednesday Night Wars with AEW and, NXT.
It makes things better for the fans. If they induct Eric Bischoff by themselves, I'm all for that, or by himself.
I was gonna say, and another one, and I'll let Poot chime in here. Another one that I think that they purposely, that at least in this case, I'm almost positive that they purposely left out and not have him being inducted with the NWO and have him being inducted by himself would be the Big Show or the Giant, whatever you want to call him, Paul White.
He deserves to go in by himself.
He's another one. He absolutely deserves to go in by himself. And to their credit, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash both went in by themselves before they went in, as the NWO, because they made some significant contributions before then. But obviously, obviously the NWO was, I would say, probably they're more well known for. But what do you think, Poot, as far as the whole Bischoff thing?
I think Bischoff was important to lending a certain tone of villain and fan hatred, if you will, to the NWO. I think that he was important for the time, but I think you could argue that was the seminal point at which the NWO started going downhill, because then Eric Bischoff was like a sleazy dad who hits on his daughter's friends. like he was. He had that vibe.
Like Mr. McMahon?
Yeah, no. Like Mr. McMahon was like, you looked at him and he's a rich, filthy, like I can have whatever I want kind of guy. Bischoff was more like the guy who's like greasy and always has an angle and, like that kind of guy who'd be like, oh, hey, like just like a predator more so, like a less like open about it. Like it's like a subtle thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus McMahon, who was very open and be like, yeah, come here, let me bone you, grapefruits. You know what I mean? Like, like he was very open about it. Like, yeah. Bischoff was more like trying to be subtle and creepy about it.
Yeah.
And not in an open way. I think it lent a certain kind of like Bischoff. People hate Bischoff. People hate Bischoff. Therefore, if you want to get the NWO over as a heel stable, put Bischoff with them. And I will say this about Eric Bischoff. Bischoff was really, 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 really good at he was really good at like on the mic and getting people to buy what he was selling. And what he was selling was, we're the best and fuck you, don't you wish you were us? You know what I mean?
Bischoff is like the creepy parent who you're like, I don't know if I want to let my kids go stay over at this person's place.
That's exactly it. And that's what that was the tone and mood he lent to the group. So I think he should be inducted with the rest of the NWO. Personally, I think it should just be the nucleus group. It should be Hogan, Hall, and Nash. I really do. I think it should be Hogan, Hall, and Nash. That's it. Mention the other guys who were really important. Give a nod to NWO 2000, of course, under the best leader ever. The chosen one.
Old Slapnuts.
Old Slapnuts himself. But no,
I have diarrhea.
Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. That's really it.
Okay. Oh shit.
All right, let's hot tag this.
Who wants to ask who? Because I don't care.
I will ask Ransom.
Okay. So then Ransom will ask me, and I'll ask Poot.
All right, so should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All
right, cool.
Bust a move.
So, okay. So we all know the wrestler Carlito, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did you know that Carlito faced a different number of Evolution members? You remember the stable Evolution? At 3 consecutive Unforgiven pay-per-views. Okay? Ransom. I want the years and the people he faced. Like, so I want blank name, blank year, blank name, blank year, blank name, blank year.
Oh.
Beef's not here, so I really got to bring the heat.
He's doing this because you stole half of his title.
No.
I'm doing. Is this in WWE or is this in?
Oh, it's in WWE.
Ohio Valley Wrestling.
No, WWE.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I want to say that he faced Orton, Batista, and Triple H.
You're saying,
but I have no idea what year.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Give me the three people that you think. So you're saying Orton, Batista, Triple H.
Yeah.
Okay, give me.
Well, I'm going to take Triple H out and put Flair in.
Okay,
Orton,
so you're
Flair,
saying
and Batista.
Orton, Flair, Batista. Okay. What years?
I have no idea.
Well, it's consecutive. So if you pick one, you just go forward 2 more years.
02, 03, 04.
02, 03, 04. Final answers?
Yeah.
It would be Ric Flair in 2005.
Oh.
Randy Orton in 2006. And Triple H in 2007.
Huh.
So there you go.
Fair enough.
I was sitting here and I was like, as soon as you said 02, 03, 04, I was like, a little too early because Orton and Cena both came onto the scene in 2002. So it had to have been a little bit right after that, but yeah, I would not have gotten that at all. So
all right, so Tom.
Yes,
this
sir.
Is a Kurt Angle question.
Oh.
Can you name for me the titles that Kurt Angle held? I don't care about how many and who and when. I just want to know what championship belts Kurt Angle held in WWE.
Okay. Now, are we also counting the rebranded or revamped ECW as a WWE title?
We are not.
Okay. So I couldn't remember if he held that. I was pretty sure he did. Well, he's definitely held the WWE Championship. I don't remember if I'm trying to remember if he held the World Heavyweight title as well or not, or if that was if he was there before that all went down and did that whole nonsense faffery. Definitely WWE Championship, definitely Intercontinental, definitely European. And I'm trying to think if this was again with the tag team titles. I don't remember if that was whenever there was the WWE titles and the World Tag Team titles or not. But I know no, because or was that? I'm trying to remember if the stable of him and Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. I don't think the Freebird rule was in effect during their tag team title reign.
It was not.
It was not. Okay. But I still feel like he held tag team titles with somebody at one point, even if it was a short run. I just can't remember who. So I'm going to say definitely Intercontinental, European, WWE Championship, and then I'm wavering on Tag Team Championship and a World Heavyweight title, but that's what I'm going to go with. I'm pretty sure he's held just about everything.
So in WWE, Kurt Angle is pretty much dripping in gold.
Yeah.
He had a very impressive series of title reigns in the WWE. He has had the World Heavyweight Championship, the Tag Team Championship, the WWE Championship, the European Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the Hardcore Championship.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
And let's not forget that when the invasion happened, he also held the WCW United States Championship and the WCW Championship.
Ah.
So Kurt Angle in the WWE dripped in gold.
He's done it all.
Oh my goodness. Now, bonus points if you can tell me what TNA titles he held.
I don't even know what titles were in TNA. I mean, I know he was TNA World Heavyweight Champion at some point. I don't even know what their lesser titles were. Like,
I didn't either, but you were right. He was the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He was also a TNA Tag Champion, once
sense.
with Sting and once with AJ Styles.
Okay.
And he was also a TNA X Division Champion.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, and he, I don't count any of the other, like, tournaments or whatever the TNA had because, who cares? But he was a King of the Ring in WWE.
Yeah.
He won the WWE Tag Team Championship tournament with Chris Benoit.
God,
Hall of Fame.
Whoops.
Triple Crown.
What an amazing fucking technical tag team.
Oh, my goodness.
Right there. God almighty.
Oh, my goodness. So he was also King of the Ring. He's clearly in the Hall of Fame. He was the 10th Triple Crown champion and the 5th Grand Slam champion.
Yep.
So, I mean, when you think back Kurt Angle, good Lord,
Pittsburgh zone, baby.
Yeah, man, this dude killed it.
Literally has done it all.
Yeah, right? Oh, he was also an IWGP champion.
Yep.
In New Japan.
Yep.
Yeah.
No shit.
Kurt Angle has had one hell of a storybook career.
He really has. And he's he's definitely had his his ups and definitely his downs.
Ooh,
they've been well documented.
All right.
They've been well documented, but I'll tell you what, man, he's
And I tell you, I even enjoyed Kurt Angle on that last WWE run that he had. In his singles run, and then when he was, look, I get it. He wasn't at the top of his technical game at the time.
It was a victory lap.
It was, but I marked out real. Even though he didn't do a whole lot in the match, I marked out real hard when he came out with the Shield.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I was a little kid again, super, on my feet when he came out. I love Kurt Angle. He's an amazing wrestler.
Took you back.
Yeah.
All right, Tom.
All right, here we go. Coming off the heels of the TLC pay-per-view that just happened,
right?
Believe it or not, TLC it's been around. I don't know if it's only really been around since 2009, because that's whenever it took over in the spot of Armageddon as the December pay-per-view there. Poot, my question to you is about the very first TLC pay-per-view in 2009. I want to know who was in the main event and what the stipulation was.
Shit. This was when I was not watching wrestling.
And there is a bonus question after this one.
Oh boy. Dude, on it, I like. What was this? There was a year that there was a. I don't know, 2009. I don't even know who was really like faffing around in 2009. Good Lord. I mean, okay, we'll go with this. Since it's TLC, we'll say the first one, it was a tables, ladders, chairs match.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the main event stipulation. Now, who was in it?
Part of me wants to say the Hardys, but I feel like the Hardys were not around at this point. Yeah,
I think whenever they made it into a pay-per-view, they had already...
Yeah, they had been gone.
You're talking about the pay-per-view and not the match itself, right?
No,
Yeah,
the pay-per-view
He's
TLC.
asking who was in the main event of this. Something in me wants to say it was a tag match just because I'm thinking Hardys. But what belts would it be for? Well, it would have been for the tag belts. There was just one set of tag belts then, wasn't there? Fuck. You know what? I'm gonna go with I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay. Ransom, you got a guess?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay.
I think I got it off of Poot's meanderings there.
Okay.
It was a tag match. I think this is when Jericho were champions, and I think the main event was Jericho versus D-Generation X. I think they were the main event of that first one.
You are absolutely right, because that harkened back to you saying earlier. Don't remember if there was any memorable Triple H TLC matches. Well, there's the one there for the WWE Tag Team Championship.
That was literally, I think, a year before I started watching wrestling again.
Yeah. Now, here's a bonus question for you guys.
All right.
In the course of the TLC pay-per-view from starting in 2009 to currently, there was one year where the pay-per-view was renamed Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs. Oh my. I want the year, and I want who was also in the first ever Steel Stairs match.
Oh, 2013, and Mick Foley and my left nut. I don't. No, I honestly, I'm gonna say 2013. I have no idea.
Ransom?
What was your question? Who was in the first Stairs match?
Yeah, it was the first ever Steel Stairs match, and this particular year, the TLC event was renamed that year Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs because of this match.
I have almost all of it, but I couldn't fathom the other opponent. Big Show for sure was in that first match. And it was 2014. But I could not, for the life of me, I cannot remember who Big Show faced. But I'm confident that it's 2014 and that Big Show was in the first Stairs match. I don't know who his opponent was.
Once again, Ransom is on the money. The opponent that you're looking for is one Eric Rowan.
Oh wow,
Eric Rowan.
I could not. No.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being in that match at all for some reason.
Yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah.
Did Big Show win that? I can't even remember if Big Show won that match.
That is a good question. That I don't have because that was not the main event. But
okay.
Because of that particular match, they renamed it that year. Tables, Ladders, Chairs, ... and Stairs.
Oh
and
gosh.
Who cares? Because that's literally the only time in 10 years that happened. So
I basically
that's probably a good thing too.
I basically was thinking, I was like, what were the really shitty years of WWE? And that's why I landed on 2013. I was damn close.
Yeah,
pretty close.
Well, guys, the hour is getting long.
Yeah.
So what do you say we thank the sponsors and we get the hell out of here?
It's a good idea.
Cool.
Kick the tires.
I'll tell you what. I'll kick them tires and light them fires. Thanks yous once again to Mr. Tiger,
Uppercut,
Bomb Tom, and his page Casual Gaming Dad for supporting us. And go check him out on Facebook. Again, go on over to Facebook.com/Casual Gaming Dad. Correct?
Yeah.
Facebook.com/casualgamingdad. Go on over there, give him a like, and check out some of his streams. He really is entertaining, and he's a lot of fun. You can find him on YouTube at Casual Gaming Dad and on Twitch at Casual Gaming Dad 84. And I'm going to throw it over to our new Le Champion, one of our new Le Champions. I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Tiger Bomb Tom. Tom, you want to take it away?
Sure thing. We also want to thank Mr. Sean Tischler and all his work that he's done bringing IWC to the Clearfield area, and for putting our name out there amongst the independent wrestling community. Also want to just in general shout out IWC because of Sean Tischler and the IWC Clearfield X event has definitely ignited my passion for some independent wrestling, and I can't speak highly enough about IWC. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm gonna send him a message tomorrow and see what his schedule is after the holiday break here, as we will be off for the next 2 weeks, not recording on Tuesday nights. We'll see about a Sunday morning show somewhere in the middle just to kind of wet the whistle. But I'm hoping after the holiday break to secure something with Mr. IWC Super Indie Champ Johnny Patch. But I'm hoping, yeah. But no, just in general, IWC, want to shout them out, and also a big shout out to my sponsors for my page, Gould Gaming, for putting up the P3 shirts in my section of the shop. So if you head over to Gould Gaming, make sure you check out my section, Casual Gaming Dad's section of the shop. Also, don't forget to use the discount codes. If you need them, you feel free to message me on Facebook and I will give them to you, but save yourself a little bit of scratch because, who doesn't want to save money when you can? There's a particular code if you get anything out of my section to save 12% off whenever you check out. That's Casual Gaming Dad VIP. And then the promo code, if the applies to all site-wide, is Gould Gaming 3. Either one of those codes help out my page and help out us here with the P3 podcast, especially if you're getting a P3 shirt. So check it out. And Ransom, you got anything that you want to add there in the end, or?
No, man, I think everybody covered it. We're good.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to thank our missing compatriot, Mr. Beef the Legend. This was a very efficient episode, and never come back. No. I'm just yanking your chain.
I missed you for sure in this episode. Beef. I definitely did.
Dude, I absolutely did as well. Like, Beef, joking aside, like, we missed you, buddy. We can't wait till you're back. Also, next week, we'll probably not have an episode up because it's Xmas time.
Absolutely, yeah, and we want to thank everybody, and I don't think anybody's going to bitch about the fact of us not throwing up an episode next week. So, like I said, if we get a chance this Sunday after Christmas or the Sunday after New Year's or whatever, maybe I'll jump on, and if anybody's available and wants to jump on the Sunday morning show, maybe we'll do that. Maybe not. Who knows? But in the meantime, everybody out there, enjoy the holiday season, whether you're celebrating by yourself or with anybody else or whoever. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll catch you all back here after the holiday break, because it's a new year and some new champions in the house. So for my tag team co-champion, Mr. Alec Ransom, for the former, and still, I'll give credit where credit's due, most reigning and longest reigning.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Former Chooserweight champion, Mr. Poot The Bard. Baby. This is Tiger Bomb Tom. Have a great night. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you all in 2020.
Merry Christmas,
motherfuckers.
To everyone.